Tonight's video log is a look at the petitions of women who were transported from Ireland aboard the Waverley in 1842. I also, to bulk out my selection, added another two from the Tasmania 1845. What we will be looking at in this video log is the reasons that were offered for clemency and what they tell us about crime and how crime is viewed by society. I will then wrap up the video log by looking at the strengths and weaknesses of these sources. So first of all, what is striking is that depending on your crime depended on the types of reasons you could offer for clemency. For example, Catherine Colligan murdered another woman. She should have been committed to the death sentence, but a petition was placed on behalf of her suggesting that she wasn't a lunatic, nor was she an idiot, as the terms were used, but that she didn't quite have the proficiency to know the complete difference between right and wrong. So in this case, what you can see is that the personality of the criminal was taken into consideration, and were they capable of understanding right and wrong? Therefore, if they couldn't, how could they be charged? Another example is how women were viewed as perhaps very vulnerable, and in the case of another woman who was with child on her colon, she was coerced, according to her petition, and led astray by a man, and was left with this no other option but to go and steal money to find this man and try and make him face up to his responsibilities. This sort of thing, and she asked for transportation, and this would tell us that going away with child would be better than staying in Ireland. And this tells us about Ireland's idea of illegitimate children. It tells us about Ireland's and society's, Irish society's view of criminals who were women of poor quality of character, I suppose, or who could be easily led astray, and they weren't seen as religiously correct, perhaps would be maybe the term. What we can also see throughout are the examples of age being used. So from the example of Catherine Hughes, who was only 17 and was being transported for pickpocketing, it was argued that her age would suggest otherwise. She didn't really know what she was doing, and she was trying to support her family, and other reasons were offered. There are many other examples of reasons why these people were petitioning. Family circumstance at that point, people were starving. Their families were starving. The families needed supported. They were supporting themselves. You can look at examples of such as Jane Shannon. She had lost her mother. She had no moral guidance when she left home, and this was offered as the reason for the petition, for her to not be charged as a criminal, but to be transported by her own family. And what does this tell us then about society? It tells us that crime was seen as connected to character. It was most definitely changeable under the right circumstances under reform, but you were only given 1 or 2 chances, and then after that you were seen as, not reachable. You can see that transportation was used for a range of crimes, not just one type of crime, and it was seen as the final solution, just ridding the country of criminals. But since we haven't got much time here, we can't go into much more. So I'm going to wrap this up very quickly and look at the strengths and weaknesses of the documents. The documents are strong in the sense that you get some qualitative information, and you can use this to make quantitative and use them comparisons of, say, English transportation convicts and their petitions. You can use them for the details of the people, so you can follow on to a certain extent of what happened to them afterwards in those other countries if you have the resources. You can also go in search of other court documents and their family records, which is good. Limitations. Well, there aren't always full records, or not that I had access to, and therein lies a problem, because some of them are only half a page long, do not give much reasoning of why things have happened. They just go mitigating circumstances, and that's it. There's no other reason mentioned. And with that, this is the video log ended.